Who here has ever rented or bought a place to live? So you know that the three most important things about finding a new place to live is location, location, and say it with me, location. This holds true for bacteria, which is the focus of my work. I study soil, particularly soil bacteria that interacts with the roots of plants, and I study it in a new way that I believe can tell us more about these interactions. The conventional method to study these bacteria is to grind and find. We literally throw the entire root ecosystem into a blender and then work backwards to be able to find bacteria's relationship to the plant that it lived on. This is limiting because we don't understand where and how that bacteria lived on the root. In other words, scientists have not quite figured out how bacteria finds its home with location in consideration. And I want to change that. 3 grams of soil contain as many bacteria cells as there are people in America. And just like you, each one has their own particular housing needs. Some like to snuggle up next to the root of a plant, forming symbiotic relationships that allow both to thrive. Others like to live far away from plants, scavenging for survival. I've noticed that there are many external impacts on the livelihoods of just one bacteria. As examples, my bacteria will change its neighborhood on the root depending on how much water the plant receives or the age of the plant. How do I know about the dynamics of this bacteria? I've developed a device called an imaging ecological fabrication, or imaging ecofab. The imaging ecofab can support a small plant and its surrounding bacteria for its entire life cycle. Excitingly, this device can be placed on a high-resolution microscope, allowing us to see all of the nuances of the root structure and the different places that bacteria could call home. We pair the images that I take with genetic and chemical analyses that allow us to know both who is in the neighborhood and what they like to eat. We combine all of these pieces of information to paint a full picture of the bacteria's diverse lifestyle. Now, why is it important for us to understand what a bacteria wants in a good home? Well, we've increased global food production using methods like domestication and chemical fertilizers and modern plant breeding, but we still have hungry people. Adding beneficial bacteria to farm soils is the next wave of innovation for us to feed ourselves. We need to understand where and how these bacteria interact with crop plants in order to capture their benefits on our farms. My innovations will define where and how these bacteria live on the plants, driving our next wave of innovation. Whether they are looking for a cozy apartment or a fixer-upper, I believe that I can find bacteria at the root of their dreams. All I need to do is find bacteria's ideal location, and say it with me, location. Thank you.